The corona pandemic has hit businesses hard, but not as hard as the tourism business, especially in the state of Himachal Pradesh. We are in Shimla, one of those cities in the state that is purely dependent on tourism as a mode of business. And people here have been involved in the businesses for generations. But the coronavirus wave has left them no choice but to look at moratoriums and restructuring schemes from the government, because there has been no tourism in the state for several months, even in the first wave. To speak to me more about this, I have Mr. Mohinder Seth here, who is the head of the Hoteliers Association in Shimla. Sir, what is the situation currently in the state, and how desperate are hotel owners and businessmen to get out of this debt?
See, as you are aware that the first wave was there, started when the countrywide lockdown was there. So, for 6 months, because we were the first to close and last to open, and about 6 to 7 months the hotels were completely closed. Rather, all of the tourism units were completely shut. There was no income. And the government tried to give some relief, but that was just for the MSME. Well, we are also MSME, but it was not specific with the tourism point of view. So ultimately, we couldn't get any help from the government end. Now they have tried to do it, but we cannot say that they have not tried it. They have tried to do it, even at the state level also, at the government of India, RBI also. But that could not give us any kind of relief to the maximum people. Thereafter, then again the tourism started. I think around September or so, and till March, we were doing some business, at least some expenditure we were getting out of the revenue we were generating. But unfortunately, just before the season, again, this is the second season, summer season. I like to add it here because summer season play a very big role in the generation of revenue. Around 65% of the revenue is generated during this season time only. The Himachal, or we can call the Himalayan states, we are totally dependent on the summer season. Whereas if we compare with Goa and all that, it's something different. They haven't catch this season in winter time when there was no corona. So we are very badly hit with this, and now again when this second wave has come, literally, government has not closed the hotels, but due to some restrictions like e-pass and RT-PCR reports and all that. So ultimately, there was no business, no occupancy, so the hoteliers were compelled to close it because to save some expenditure. Now again the government has tried to do it. At a state level also they are trying their level best to give us some kind of new scheme like interest subvention scheme. Last time they did it, but unfortunately, because the bank said no, we don't entertain this because it's either you get it done from RBI or from Ministry of Finance, and they were right because they have got the specific schemes. But now Government of India is doing it, but main problem is the gap. The gap. Government tries to help, but till the time they finalize it, there becomes a very big gap as the ground reality. Like I can tell you just now. March, April, May, 90 days. 90 days means after that you are going to slip into NPA. Now, just I think a few days back, this scheme has come that they will restructure accounts and all that. Now, restructure account is okay. Another problem is NPA. Like last time, when Corona first wave was there, they said no, there will be no NPA, there will be no effect on your CIBIL. But this time, we don't know.
And there are notices that the bank is sending to property and hotel owners.
Sending notices, they are harassing. Basically, that is not acceptable. That is not a good attitude by the banks. They go on from their call centers. They go on calling you. Your installment is due. They don't know. They should know. It's not the fault of the borrower. It is just the pandemic all throughout the world. So unfortunately, it's very bad that they go on giving you calls day and night, that you please pay the installments. Sometimes people get angry with them also, that you understand, man, when we don't have business, how can we pay it? And we are not the defaulters every time. Rather, small problems comes every time because tourism is such a this thing. any kind of problem arises in the country, whether it is any kind of, we can say, first is to the tourism is affected by that. So for small things we don't bother. You might be knowing in 2018 or 19 there was a acute water shortage in Shimla. For 1-2 months we had suffered our businesses, but it doesn't matter, it was a small thing. But now, during COVID pandemic, we don't have any other alternative. And I like to tell you here that 80% of the people, if we talk of Shimla only, 85% of the people are totally dependent on tourism. They never thought of having another business. So 25% people are there. Now these people are also in trouble because economy, all the whole has been affected. But 80% of the people, they are just dependent on tourism. Moreover, the staff. Now, what is the alternative? That you decrease the staff, you curtail your other expenditures, but which is very unfortunate. See, I'm into the industry from last 50 years. It has never happened that ultimately these people working with us, they are just like our, bachon ki tarah. So we don't want to leave them, but there's no remedy. So what I personally feel is that the government should do it very fast. Though as to the ground reality is not, compatible ho jaye dono cheeze. But unfortunately hota ye hai, the things come, in the meantime everything changes. And another problem with the industry is that there are some specific kind of staff which is very difficult to find out. For instance, cooks, for instance, sweeping staff, housekeeping staff. Once you lose them, then it's very difficult to bring a team. It's a teamwork. Basically, our industry depends on the team. How the team works, that grows your hotel. This thing.
Well, definitely, these are just some of the issues that Mohinder Seth ji has told us about. But the state in particular, Himachal Pradesh, does depend more than 80% on the tourism that it generates from people coming from other areas. Now, even as other states and union territories are opening up the lockdowns, but Himachal still has a continued lockdown, and the government would probably need to look at some easier way of tourist access to help these hotels and businesses at least sail through the kind of massive destruction in businesses that they have faced in the second wave of COVID-19. And less can be said about the third wave that is an impending danger on many people right now. With Prem Mishra from Shimla, Himachal Pradesh, this is Milan Sharma for India Today.